everybody, and welcome to this special on Venus transiting in Cancer. So this year, Venus is in Cancer from the 6th of July at 11:02 p.m. until the 31st of July at 9:04 a.m. when it enters Leo. So all times are in GMT times, and it's based on constellational Vedic astrology, which is based on where the planets actually are when we look up in the sky at any given moment. So Venus is in Cancer. So astrologically, when Venus moves into Cancer, it brings a strong emphasis on love and emotions and connections in our lives, and we may emphasize the need for nurturing from ourselves or from our partners and friends right now, and we may seek more emotional security in our relationships as well, and we can feel more tuned to our inner feelings, seeking deeper connections with ourselves, our loved ones as well. And practically speaking, when Venus is in Cancer, it can inspire us to focus on creating a more balance and harmony in our home environment. So it's a good time to, repair family arguments, disagreements in our relationships with our friends, with ourselves, redecorate, spend quality time with our family, and express our emotions through creative activities like art, dance or music. It just encourages us to prioritise our emotional well-being and find comfort in our personal spaces, and by setting our personal boundaries as well. So on a worldly, materialistic level, Venus in Cancer can impact areas in our life related to our home, as I said, real estate and our domestic products, businesses that cater to creating a cosy atmosphere, or products that evoke feelings of, nostalgia, making us think of the past or a good time in our life or a special person or anything like that. Can really see an uptick in demand during this time. People can really just want products that bring them comfort and soothing, and also maybe visits home, getting in touch with past friends or exes, but be careful when doing that, but it's your life and all of that. From a political perspective, decision makers may focus on initiatives that support the well-being of families, providing affordable housing options and other amenities that people in communities need, prioritising social and healthcare programs that nurture the community, focusing on caregiving and family welfare, and it could bring attention to issues of compassionate sort of like leadership and policies that prioritise emotional needs alongside practical considerations. In terms of the spiritual esoteric meaning, when Venus is in Cancer, it invites us to explore our emotional depths and connect with our intuitive selves. It encourages us to be more self-reflective and engage in self-care and seeking sort of like comfort in, traditional teachings, philosophical works, spiritual messages, or anything else that can help you just feel soothed right now in a non-toxic way. It's a time for digging into your inner self and looking around to see what still needs healing, or continuing your emotional, psychological, spiritual healing work, nurturing yourself and finding peace through emotional awareness and self-care, and just allowing ourselves to just relax and avoid burnout. Because Venus in Cancer can increase our sensitivity and attachment to those who we love, because Cancer is known for its nurturing and protective qualities, so we can find ourselves more emotionally connected to our family and loved ones, and this can lead to a deeper sense of comfort and emotional security in our relationships. Symbolically, it encourages us to express our feelings and creativity in a more tender and caring way, and we may find ourselves drawn to things that, just allow us to tap into our emotions. So yeah, just allow yourself on an emotional level to open up to feelings of vulnerability in safe ways, and use this desire for closeness, to try and get closer to your own self. Yeah, it's good to spend time with our friends and family, we should do this as well, but doing some work to see how you can provide more affection and love and understanding of yourself, and how you can reduce any toxic thoughts or resolve any conflicts that you got inside yourself as well, and just seeking reassurance from ourselves and learning to build a sense of emotional safety from within. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Venus is making this year when it goes into Cancer. So it makes a conjunction with the moon, so this can increase our emotional connection, allowing us to just feel a sense of understanding and more empathy, and this provides us to gain happiness and feel nurtured by relationships or by spending quality time with ourselves. But negatively, it can add to the sense of longing and thus being nostalgic over things rather than being logical and wanting immediate and emotional fulfillment. So we may overspend and overindulge in food, intoxicating relationships and substances and stuff. Venus also makes a semi-square to Jupiter that negatively can also add to this tendency to overspend and indulge excessively, and this can lead to financial problems and unrealistic expectations in relationships. But positively, it allows us just to feel more optimistic about our ability to get ourselves out of our problems right now. Venus also makes a trine to Saturn, so Saturn brings some stability and commitment and long-term planning into our actions and relationships right now. So it just allows us to make good decisions and not overindulge if we use this energy, and just do things that will bring long-term love and security in our life on the emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial and physical level. But negatively, because we can be too controlling and jealous in our relationships and our mindset right now, it can cause tension and conflict because we're just being too kind of detached and aloof and not wanting to give or receive affection and just focus on the details and not the romance of things, though, but just the practicalities of things. Or we may want to control date nights and control things, and this can cause tension in our relationships. And Venus's sextile to Uranus also adds to this restless energy that disrupts our stability and can just lead to us making impulsive decisions in our relationships without thinking about other people's emotions or the long-term repercussions of our actions as well. So it just kind of brings excitement into this year's transit and gives us a love for unpredictability, and just encourages us to have unconventional approaches to our experiences right now. But Venus's trine to Saturn can get in the way of us experiencing these new things that this energy and other energies, such as Venus's semi-square to Jupiter and the Moon's conjunction to Venus, is trying to bring us. Venus also makes a trine to Neptune, so this adds to us being idealistic and deluded, and people manipulating each other, and us wanting to escape so much that we don't care being used and abused, seeking anything out as a distraction, just so we just don't feel alone or don't feel the pain we feel inside. So it's essential to maintain a balance between healthy self-care right now and getting lost in fantasy, and trying to do your best to stay grounded in reality to avoid long-term disappointment and being deceived in relationships. So fact check, someone new comes into your space, or if you just get gut feeling something's not right, just don't accuse or anything, just observe. If we just watch things a lot more and just allow people to talk and to do what they're doing, and so let them show us who they are rather than sometimes be doing the probing. The truth rises to the surface eventually, and the truth can be sort of like painful to face, And of course it can be a lot harder to be open to newness and love after you've been, rejected, or you experience heartbreak or a loss, or, of someone you really loved and stuff like that as well. So just take time to, be gentle with yourself at this time. And the positive of Venus's trine to Neptune is that it allows us to have more empathy and understanding for ourselves. So it's a good energy for romantic gestures and us being creative and using creativity and alternative ways of thinking and things to help us heal and understand our emotional pain and forgive ourselves and let go of the shame and guilt. Shame and guilt is a hard one because I've disliked it in my life, like when I was going through it hard. It is horrible, but now I've come to understand it. I think a bit of every emotion is necessary for us to be tuned into the whole human experience and to also understand ourselves and others as well. So I don't see emotions such as self-doubt, low self-esteem and all of that bad to experience. It's what we do with these emotions, get to the root causes of why we feel these ways and learn to manage these emotions, and not to eradicate them completely, because as I said, I feel that there is value in experiencing these emotions, and some of these emotions are rites of passage, like a heartbreak. Yeah, it'd be lovely if we all just stayed with our first partner and stuff, but a lot of the time it's not practical, or it's not meant to be. So thank goodness for second chances, right? And always remember that one person's trash, garbage, is another person's treasure. So only because one person didn't like it doesn't mean that others weren't. So also when Venus goes into Cancer, it makes an opposition to Pluto, so it helps us to find self-empowerment and just loving ourselves and understand and forgive ourselves, and just be willing to work with ourselves daily and taking it one step at a time, rather than putting so much pressure on yourself to do everything all at once. It allows us to face challenges in our relationships in a gentle manner. It also gives us the intensity and passion to change, but negatively it can add to the control issues and power struggles and jealousy that can be, because all of these aspects flavour the whole time that Venus is in Cancer. So over the 3 weeks Venus, just over 3 weeks Venus is in Cancer, there can be an increase in manipulative situations and us having to confront hidden desires or secrets that come out, and this can lead to conflicts and emotional upheavals and also codependency. So we just have to watch out for that. And Venus makes a square to Chiron as well, so this brings the ability to be vulnerable and supports us being self-aware and going deep into our emotional pain and having more compassion and understanding for ourselves and others while we do this. But it can add to the instability in relationships because of the increased vulnerability, and this can lead to insecurities and triggers that does add to the emotional sensitivity that this energy brings. So it's important to communicate openly to avoid misunderstandings. This can make tensions worse, tap into that emotional sensitivity to be gentle and understanding with yourself and others, but yet make sure you respect other people's boundaries and enforce your boundaries as well. And this can be a great energy to do boundary work, especially when it comes to your values, especially when it comes to you using your values in your relationship, because a lot of the time we can lose ourselves in relationships. Yeah, we can fall in love and want to please our partner, but pleasing our partner doesn't mean we have to lose ourselves. And as someone who used to get lost in others and stuff, we can still be a good partner and love them and show them affection by learning them. It's about pleasing them in the ways that they want to be pleased, but also meeting our own needs. And this is how we can meet their needs and everybody else's needs, and all the other needs in our lives, like the need to meet our bills, and we may want to travel and experience other things as well. So we can use this energy to think about our values, our relationships and our boundaries, and how we are living up to our values in our relationships, and how we can become more assertive in being able to be ourselves. And some of you may be single and self-partnered, so it'd be easier for you to do this, but it may be harder to do this when you're in a relationship, to be like, I don't know, I've been allowing you to get away with this habit for 20 years or so, but now I'm not going to allow you to do it. But sometimes it's necessary, if you feel the urge to become empowered and change even long habits that you've been doing for decades. Venus in Cancer is the energy that can allow you to reflect on what home means to you, and is your home, is your inner world peaceful? And if it's not peaceful, why is it not? And what in the external world is making it less peaceful? So yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the karmic meanings and lessons and the past life memories that may come up when Venus is in Cancer. So as I said, Cancer is a water sign known for its emotional depth and nurturing qualities, and it also rules our end of life in astrology as well. So where our Venus placement is in our natal charts can show the sort of things we may experience at the ends of our life. So we can use astrology and that placement to plan as much as we can, because sometimes life, even with the best of plans, we can have plans A, B, C, D, E, F, and still, none of them work, or unknown can come into it. But the karma that comes up now are linked to, our emotional health. Are we looking after the needs of our partners, the needs of ourselves on the emotional, psychological and spiritual level? And also the things that bring us a sense of security. Are the things that bring us a sense of security toxic? Are you using intoxicating substances to feel a sense of stability? And some are safer than others. A lot of people using CBD and cannabis right now to relieve their stress, and it's good to help us to get to that point and when we're feeling low, and to do it for our pleasure, because sometimes pleasure is just pleasure, but we shouldn't have to depend on these substances to be happy. So can you be happy without intoxicating yourself with substances or food or relationships? So this transit invites us to explore karmic lessons related to how we express love, receive love and affection, how we nurture ourselves and others, how we find comfort, how we make ourselves relax. Do we make ourselves relax in healthy ways, or again, are the things that we use and do toxic to our overall well-being? Past memories associated with our family dynamics, especially childhood experiences, because a lot of our trauma, not all, are rooted in childhood experiences. So, we may look at deep-rooted emotional or psychological or spiritual health patterns that run through our families, and you may think, okay, how can I solve, how can I stop the link of generational dysfunction that runs through my family, and now I've got it as well, how can I stop it within me? Because we cannot force others to change. What we can do is change our own lives, and maybe by our example, living our truth, living our recovery, people may follow, but we can't force it on others. So the memories that come up when Venus is in Cancer can hold valuable insights into our current relationships and help us understand why we react in certain ways or have specific attachment styles, and it can just allow us to set more healthier boundaries in our relationships. So we just may find ourselves revisiting past instances where we may have struggled with staying grounded and looking after our home life and having boundaries in our relationships. So this may come on to you consciously for those of you who actively work with your dreams and your psychic level of awareness, or it may just be a subconscious happening. So just pay attention to what comes up right now in terms of your boundaries. As I just said, are your boundaries healthy? How can you enforce healthier boundaries? And do you respect other people's boundaries? Because a lot of the time we can be the issue in relationships, and if we keep on disrespecting people's boundaries, this can cause tension. So themes of again, us learning how to respect our own boundaries, enforce other people's boundaries, trust ourselves and others more deeply by taking care of our own needs and being more vulnerable and honest as well with what we really need in our lives to feel fulfilled. And also Venus in Cancer can bring up past life connections or soul contracts that influence our present connections. So for instance, some of you may meet someone who feels oddly familiar or experience intense emotions towards a particular person or product or service or place right now, and this can be indicative of a past life bond. Well, maybe not with the product and service, but with a person, and the past life memories, looking into them, digging deep into the meanings that come up when Venus is in Cancer, gives us the opportunity to understand ourselves on the emotional level more clearly as well. And also when we are feeling, or if you are feeling like you're under a soul contract, or someone comes in and they feel oddly familiar, I believe in soulmates and stuff, I always have, but I've kind of upgraded my awareness on them over the past sort of like 8 years after leaving like a negative experience. And now my motto is the proof is in the pudding, like the action that we make. So it's all fun and well someone being our soulmate and our twin flames. And I believe the more lifetimes you believe you lived, so if you say, say if you've lived 1,000 lifetimes, then you've got at least 500 soulmates out there. So I'm not saying they're not rare, they are rare in comparison to the 8 billion people on the planet, but I believe that love and relationships are a choice, and if you do everything in a relationship to try and make it work, or if your relationship, your soulmate relationship is toxic, then you have to leave it, because for me, love is about loving, and yeah, you're going to have arguments and tension in your relationships, but that shouldn't be the whole thing. If your relationship is over, I would say 50% arguments, then you should question it. Well, I would say over 20%, because I believe that our people, it should be more smooth sailing. It shouldn't all be I have to do all these jump through these mad hoops all the time and keep on overcoming all these dramatic things and yeah, it's all a learning curve, and we have to go through those. But Venus in Cancer wants us to look at our relationship dynamics and look towards growing and building healthier relationships with others, and we do this by using self-reflection to understand ourselves and the interconnectedness of our past experiences with our present reality, how not healing from our past wounds and understanding from our past mistakes and moving on from them. Mistakes is not, this is part of life, but keep on repeating. The saying is, Einstein said it, but then some people say he didn't, but the saying is, insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results, unless the results are positive, but yeah. So embracing this energy of Venus in Cancer with an open heart and a receptive mind can lead to profound insights that help you with your personal transformation and help you develop more fulfilling relationships. So now I'm just going to talk about how Venus in Cancer influences relationships in more depth. So in terms of family relationships, it can just make us build stronger bonds and have a deeper understanding, and it can increase support between family members right now. But negatively, it can add to the conflicts I already talked about and over-dependence on other people for our happiness. In terms of friendship relationships, it can make us more caring and compassionate, and we can be more supportive, but again, the emotional sensitivity can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings, and this can risk the friendships becoming volatile or ending. In terms of co-worker relationships, it allows us to be more empathy and work with other people in a more positive and balanced way. But negatively, there could be a blurred sort of like boundaries between personal and professional behaviour right now, and this can lead to favouritism or conflicts or sort of unethical kind of happenings in the office. So just make sure you stick within the rules and that consent is gained and all the rest of it. In terms of committed couples, this allows those in committed relationships to deepen their intimacy and sensuality and communication and understanding, and it can improve the overall closeness of the relationship. But negatively, tensions can come up because of insecurities, and this can lead to arguments. So it's just important to actively listen to each other and try to resolve conflict in a peaceful way. In terms of hookup relationships, it can lead to more intensity in the emotional connection between partners, leading to more sensual and intimate fulfilling experiences, and this can deepen understanding of each other's needs because you're more willing to communicate them to each other as well. But again, there's a risk of becoming overly attached, or the lines can be blurred between commitment and casual at this time, and this can lead to hurt feelings and misunderstandings if expectations are not clearly communicated. So just make sure you make your intentions clear. Don't lie just to get what you want, and make sure you ask questions. Don't assume that someone's your partner just because they've said that they're having a good time with you and stuff. Those who are single can feel themselves feeling more emotionally satisfied and focus on creating a sense of home and stability within themselves at this time, and this can lead to a heightened desire for deep connections with others and intimacy in relationships, and it can just make you more grateful for the things that you have, and just grateful for you taking time out to indulge in self-care practices and look after yourself, and this can lead to more personal growth, understanding, love and forgiveness. But negatively, you can feel more sensitive and vulnerable, and this can make you long for companionship and company because you feel lonely, and this can make you make reckless decisions right now. So it's just important to love on yourself and just try and not do things out of loneliness right now. And just by taking time out to love in yourself and just give yourself what you need right now, you can create a strong foundation for future relationships with others based on a deep understanding of other people's needs. And this is because you took the time out to meet your own needs first. So people who are self-partnered during Venus in Cancer may feel a strong sense of emotional stability and sense of self, and they may prioritise self-care and setting boundaries and creating a harmonious sort of like inner environment in themselves, because the energy of Venus in Cancer can increase their ability to love themselves unconditionally and find fulfillment in their own company. But negatively, Venus in Cancer can make us struggle with being vulnerable and being oversensitive to criticism, which could challenge their relationship with themselves. So it's just important, to just be gentle with yourself and to just, listen to criticism, and see if there's any truth in it, but don't take it to heart. Remember to tap into that unconditional love and just do the work that you need to overcome any of your long-term problems that you're working to manage. So now I'm just going to talk a bit more about our career and personal and spiritual and educational development and how Venus in Cancer affects that. So in terms of career, it promotes us nurturing our connections in the workplace and working with others, and just paying attention to the way we communicate and doing things that can improve productivity. But negatively, our emotions can cloud our judgment, and indecisiveness can affect work, and so can the moodiness, and this can lead to conflict in work relationships and decision making processes as well, and this can get in the way of productivity, and the misunderstandings can just lead to waste of energy. So just do all you can to create clear communication at this time. In terms of personal development, Venus in Cancer supports us to prioritise our well-being and strengthen our bonds with our loved ones, and just do what we need to do to soothe ourselves without becoming dependent on others, as I said, and do things to get internal validation by learning to understand your own self on a deeper level. But of course, spend time with your friends and family and your partners and stuff. Just don't depend on them to give you everything you may need on an emotional level right now, because only you can sort of like do that, and it can just sort of like shine a light on the things that are preventing us from growing and being independent and taking the risks that we need to grow as well. So it's important to find the balance on the personal development level between being emotionally vulnerable and being self-reliant and sufficient as well, learning to depend on yourself. When Venus is in Cancer, in terms of our educational development, it can give an increased focus on subjects related to emotions, art, psychology, cooking, nurturing, and all that sort of like healthcare, sort of like psychological sort of nurturing sort of things, as I said. So we may just find ourselves drawn to topics that invoke deep feelings and empathy and understanding, but there's a possibility of becoming overly emotional and invested in our academic plans, and this can lead to us being objective in saying taking care of our emotional needs and our relationships and stuff as well. So it's important for us to channel our sensitivity into critical analysis and creative expression, and allow our emotions to increase our learning experience, enhance it, rather than our emotions becoming a hindrance, getting in the way of us, enjoying the things that we're learning right now as well. So striking a balance between emotional depth and intellectual strictness, and sort of like methods and techniques, can make us make the most of this energy for academic growth and personal enrichment. So now I'm going to talk about the best things for different people to do when Venus is in Cancer. So for those who are creative, it's a good energy to channel into your creativity. It can help you, create work that resonates emotionally with yourself and others. It's a great opportunity to tap into your intuition and express your feelings through your creative projects. For professionals, the best use of this energy is to use it to create a supportive work environment, build closer relationships at work, and have more empathy. And this can, improve productivity and teamwork, as I said. Entrepreneurs should use this energy to focus on building relationships with customers and clients on a deeper level. It's a good energy to launch marketing campaigns that appeal to people's values and sentiments and needs, showing care and compassion in your business dealings can also strengthen customer loyalty and attract new opportunities. Alternative healers can find this energy can help them focus on your own well-being and your clients' well-being, offering sessions that cater to the heart and soul and holistically meets the client's needs right now. And this can be really beneficial for clients seeking emotional support and healing right now. Lovers can use this energy to deepen their emotional connections and strengthen bonds with their partners. This transit encourages us to express our feelings openly and create a sense of security and comfort in our relationships, and plan intimate dates and share personal stories and show care and affection. And doing this can increase our romantic connections during this time. Singles and those who are self-partnered can use this energy to seek emotional connections and meaningful relationships at this time. It's a good time to explore dating if you really want to, with an open heart, and if you're ready to as well, and focus on building genuine connections with potential partners, or deepening your connection with yourself, and just engage in activities that resonate with your emotions and values. And this can attract like-minded individuals into your space that are seeking authentic and nurturing relationships. And I know at times this world can make us think, all the good ones are taken, but no, that's not the case. They are out there, believe you and me. So, just be open. But in the meantime, while you are waiting for your person or persons, work on being the best partner and best friend and lover and companion to yourself that you can be. So now I'm just going to sum up by discussing the overall positives and negatives and best use of this energy. So, the positives of this energy allows for us to connect more emotionally with ourselves and others. It encourages us to express and receive affection, and it just brings nurturing energy that allows us to have more empathy and show love and want to spend time, cooking and playing games with our loved ones or on our own, doing things that bring us comfort in a nice, cozy and balanced way. But negatively, it can make us too clingy and oversensitive and take things too personally or become overly emotional. And if we get too clingy in relationships, we can push people away and become too codependent. It can also make us swingy in our moods. We can be irrational in what we say if we don't manage ourselves well at this time as well. So the best use of this energy is to partake in self-care, spend quality time with loved ones and yourself, and work on home improvement or creativity projects such as organisation, or using creativity to help you understand your emotional moods of yourself and others at this time. So yeah, that's the end of this special on Venus in Cancer. Take care and see you next time.